Speaking of sort of the players that come through Chelsea's academy setup, and obviously the likes of the Mason Mounts, the Reece Jameses, etc. Everybody knows about them. Their pathways and their success have been very well documented, essentially. But I think a few of the others who are sort of coming up now. I mean, you mentioned one, Conor Gallagher, of course. He's had loans, Charlton, Swansea, currently with West Brom. Trevor Chalobah, who's out in France at the moment. Armando Broja, you'll have to correct me on my pronunciation there, actually, who's out with Vitesse in the Netherlands. And Ike Ugbo, who's been, for the past 2 years, been playing at Roda JC in the Netherlands and is currently with Cercle Brugge in Belgium. There's obviously the loan. I mean, one thing I don't want to get into is the whole, oh, look, the Chelsea loan circuit, that's been done to death. And also, I just don't think it's a very fruitful conversation topic. But what I would like to discuss is those four players, those named loanees, because you've got two players there, two forwards who are scoring pretty regularly in Belgium and Holland, have been for the past 2 years in Ugbo's case, and then you've got two midfield players who are doing very well, but at a level which is lower than what would be required to play for Chelsea right now. I just wanted to gauge your opinion on sort of those four and what you really think of them.
Yeah, I'll start with Ike Ugbo because I think he's quite an interesting one from a sort of wider point of view, thinking about just player development. Player development in general. I know you did a brilliant piece and interview with him, Joe, a few months ago, sort of on this topic. But Ike Ugbo is a player who came through, a striker who came through the Chelsea academy. Obviously by virtue of that, he's developed very kind of good link-up play, very good one-touch finishing. I think actually 80% of his goals this season for Cercle Brugge have been one-touch finishes. He's quite that's something that he prides his game on.
A poacher in old money.
Yeah, absolutely. And he went on loan at the age of 18, 19 to various clubs in the EFL, Scunthorpe, MK Dons, and I think he scored about one or two goals, in about three loan spells. And as a result, obviously he was quite widely written off. I'm not sure if he was kind of big enough for that to hit the mainstream media at the time, but I'm sure behind the scenes as well, people at clubs will be looking at him and thinking, Chelsea Academy, yeah, they develop players, but their strikers aren't great because all they know how to do is finish. They don't develop other parts of their game. But I think it just really goes to show that development is not linear. And he was on loan at Roda JC in the Eerste Divisie, the Dutch second division last season. I think he got into double figures for goals. I can't remember the exact amount. He did very well there. It was a very kind of well chosen step up this season to Cercle Brugge in Belgium. They're really struggling this season, Bruges. They're in the relegation zone, but he's scoring regularly. I think he's got about 12 goals this season so far. And his goals are verified by the expected goals gods, so he's not overperforming. He's not kind of
What we'd
just,
love to see.
yeah, exactly. So it'll be very interesting to see what he chooses to do with his career now, because his contract is up with Chelsea in the summer. I highly doubt he'll renew because he's finally kind of come into form, and there were rumors that Chelsea rejected a bid of £5 million, I think it was, from FC Rostov in Russia in the January transfer window for him. So, there will clearly be clubs on his tail in the summer transfer window. And it'll be interesting to see what he does because, obviously I'm not sure if it was him who made the choice or Chelsea or whatever, but it was a very good choice made, the step up from the Dutch second division to the Belgian first division last season. But it'll be interesting to see where he takes that next step up.
Yeah, it was. I think it was his call. He had a few offers from elsewhere to go out on loan, and it was sort of he. I remember him saying to me that he discussed it with his dad, and it was a question of I don't really have anything to lose here by going abroad. I could potentially play myself back into contention essentially, and I think that's what he's done. I think. Sort of, if he were to return to England in the close season once his contract expires, then there's nothing to say that I think he could get he could get a squad place at a very very decent club. Whether that would be sort of top half of the Championship or bottom half of the Premier League, I think that would probably be the area that we're talking in. But yeah, it's a good little tale to see of how you can pick yourself back up after being written off after maybe not hitting the heights in the EFL, which so many players just don't do. But it's not sort of a reflection of their quality.